tutorial, I'm gonna be teaching you Pastelillos de Guayaba. What it is basically a pastry filled with guayaba. I grew up in Puerto Rico and this is a very famous pastry over there. So I'm just gonna teach you guys how to make it the easy way. For this recipe you will need cream cheese that is softened, sugar, vanilla, 1 egg, guayaba paste, corn syrup, and puff pastry. The first thing you want to do is take your cream cheese and leave it at room temperature. This way it's easier to mix. If it's in the fridge and you forgot, you can put it in the microwave but heat it at intervals of 15 seconds to make sure you don't overheat it. Now you can add to the cream cheese 3 tablespoons of sugar. You can add 1 teaspoon of vanilla, or you can scrape the seeds of a vanilla bean and add them to the mix. If you don't know how to work with the vanilla bean, I have a tutorial on how to do that, so you can go and check it out. Mix well the cream cheese, sugar, and vanilla. And once you do that, you can place the mixture on a piping bag. You don't need a tip for this, and I put it in the piping bag because it's easier to place it on the pastry. Since I didn't put a tip in the bag, all you need to do is cut the tip. It can be bigger than this if you want more to come out, and that's it. You start piping. You can also use a Ziploc bag if you don't have piping bags, and just cut a corner of your Ziploc bag. Now we're gonna work with the guayaba paste. This is from the company Goya and I love it. I grew up with it. There might be others that are really good, but this is one of my favorite ones. I cut my slices around 2 inches long and 1/4 of an inch thick. If you put more than that, it might melt and just seep out of the pastry. You will need 1 egg. Mix it well. You can use some extra power like I'm using here. It looks just like I'm going a million miles an hour. I am using Pepperidge Farm puff pastry, and this is just the easy way to make pastelillos. You can make your own puff pastry. It's a little bit time consuming, not difficult, but just time consuming. It's layers and layers of dough and butter, and it has to be done a certain way so you don't lose those layers. It is another tutorial, and right now I just want dessert, so I just went and bought mine for now. The box comes with 2 pieces of puff pastry. You can take one out and cover the other one and put it back in the fridge if you want. I am going to be using squares, so I'm dividing the dough in 3 cuts. I sometimes follow the lines, but sometimes the lines are not perfect, so just play with it. Doesn't have to be perfect. I stack these 3 pieces, one on top of each other, and don't press them down, and make sure they're not too soft because they will stick together. Once I have them stacked, I kind of mark where I want to cut, and I just cut with a pizza wheel or whatever tool you prefer. Today is one of those lazy days. I just want something fast and easy, so I cover my pan with some foil. You can use parchment paper too. Place your pastry puffs in the pan. Then put a guayaba slice on each square. I am really not trying to go for perfect squares in here. I'm just eyeballing the whole thing, but if you need this to be nice and perfect for an event, you can use a ruler. It's always a good option. Now grab that piping bag filled with cream cheese goodness and just pipe. The amount of cream cheese I am putting here is perfect. One thing you need to know is that cream cheese, when it's baked, it tends to puff. And if you put too much, it will come out. So you have to make sure not to put too much. The next step would be to just put egg wash around the corners of your pastry puff. This will help seal your pastry puff together so nothing comes out of it. So take a brush and just go all around it, making sure you get to all the corners. Once you put your egg wash everywhere, take another square and place it on top and press the corners lightly and all the edges. You want to make sure that it's completely sealed so everything stays inside. Now we're gonna finish this with an egg wash. So take your pastry brush and just brush egg wash everywhere in your pastry. Once I'm done with the egg wash, I take some sugar and just sprinkle it lightly on top of each pastry. Make sure not to overdo it because once it starts going outside your pastry onto the pan, that sugar will melt and it will burn your pastry. Now that we're done with this, it's time for the oven. Make sure that before you start, your oven is preheated to 400 degrees. Bake them until they are golden brown. It can take between 12 to 15 minutes and this will change from oven to oven. And here they are, beautiful golden pastelillos. There's a few ways you can finish this. You can take some corn syrup and just drizzle it on top of the pastelillo or use a brush. That's one way of doing it. The second way is the Cuban way. They will take some coarse sugar and just bake it with the coarse sugar and that's it. In Puerto Rico, we like ours with confectioner sugar, powdered sugar, 10x, whichever you want to call it. Just sprinkle it on top of your pastelillo and it's heaven. I will post the full recipe in my website, so anytime you need it, it will be there. And here they are, beautiful, delicious pastelillos de guayaba. You can make them without the cream cheese and you can make them in other flavors. So the sky is the limit with these ones. You can do anything. I just like my guayaba. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I will post all the links in the box below to my website, to the recipe, to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of them. And remember, you can always visit me in Facebook, share your work, and just go to my channel and check my tutorials. Or you can go to my website and I have them all together in one place. I hope you enjoyed that. Until next time, ta-ta!